Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to another run by Quill. Hello there.
So this is Mario Kart. It's pretty much what you expect out of a Mario Kart game. But first we had a bid war for a character, so that needs to close. And
yes, I'll go look that up real quick for you. You can go ahead.
So one important thing, so we'll be doing the retro tracks, which are the 16 set of tracks. So originally this game was Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, which only had 32 tracks. So the categories were Nitro tracks, retro tracks, and 32 tracks. Retro tracks being stages that were remade in Mario Kart 8, Nitro tracks being new stages. Eventually they added DLC tracks, which are bonus tracks for a category, and also 48 tracks as a run. I'll be doing retro tracks rather. Last NASA I did Nitro tracks, and then during the Halloween, was it? I think it was, or was it Speed Kino? During one of the online NASA events, I did bonus tracks. So now we're gonna do retro tracks to round out the 48 courses. And over the year since I started playing Mario Kart, I've gotten a lot better. So I hope this run is better.
Especially because now you have items on.
That's true. Okay, it won't be great, but it'll be better.
It'll be even better because items. Also, I do have the winner for the bid war, and that is Roy
Koopa. So the hardest part,
fueled by the wonderful CJ, who started this whole item.
The hardest part was actually finding Roy on the character select screen. So there's a reason why we use Roy, and we also use this specific composition. We'll go into that later though. So 150cc, no teams, normal items. CPUs need to be set to hard. We'll go in order so we don't need to menu all the time, and then 16 races. So if we are ready on timer, 3. One sec. I do want to have my splits open just as a side thing. Okay, for real now. 3, 2, 1, go. Excellent. So this is retro tracks. All of these stages have been in previous Mario Kart games. The first one is Moo Moo Meadows, which was on the Wii, I believe. So one important thing, I'll talk about this now, is your coin count. So since we start in last place, because that's just how the game decides that one-player games work, we start in last place. We start with 5 coins, which is nice. Every other time we'll be starting with 0 coins, and the amount of coins you have determines how fast you're going. So your max speed actually improves by, I think it's like 6.6%, which isn't a lot, or it doesn't seem like a lot at least, but in a racing game, 6%, oops, is a lot. So I was hoping to save my mushroom there for a useful skip, but that was not the case. In first place, you don't get any good items. You don't get any mushrooms, you don't get any stars. I got mushroom there because I got it while I was in second place. You will get coins like 90% of the time. And if you have 10 coins, they're not really useful. But coins are actually pretty good because, oops, nice. Okay, well, I messed that up. You can only have 1 set of coins at a time. You'll never get 2 sets of coins, as opposed to every other item, you can double up on them. But coins are good to guard against Boo, since Boo will steal your first item. So if you have coins in the start, or coins in your, nice, okay. This is already going great. So if you have coins in your first slot, oh, now there are fireballs. No! So if you have coins in your first slot, and a defense item in your second slot, if you have like a red shell or something coming, you have enough time to use your coins, and then get your defense item out, like either a banana or a shell. Get your defense item out before the shell comes and hits you. If you have a horn, that's even better, because that can break blue shells. I don't have a defense item here. This will be an items PB only because I refuse to run items. If you haven't guessed why, you got a pretty good example on what the rest of the run holds. That is, I think by items standards, that was pretty bad. You're not supposed to get blue shelled and thundered in the same stage, but yeah. So comparatively, just because I'm running the no item splits beside, I lost 16.5 seconds there. And my driving was pretty on point, so it wasn't from that. But anyways, we are on to Mario Circuit, which was from the Game Boy Advance game. I don't have protection right now. The stage does have a pretty neat skip. I'll try to do it each lap, because even if you... Oh, actually I get a mushroom here. Excellent. So that's the skip. I guess items saved me this time, because that doesn't normally happen. But you can do it without a mushroom. On 200cc, it's actually really easy. On 150, which is what I'm running right now, it's a bit more difficult, but it's definitely still possible. This game is sort of... the leaderboard is split into 4. Where there's items and no items, and then there's 150cc and 200cc, which is sort of an artifact. Oops, okay, I almost messed that up, but we got it still fine. That's sort of an artifact from back when the game was on the Wii U. Okay, well. Are you joking? I used my sound box. I didn't want to get hit by the red shell. But anyways, 150cc is sort of an artifact from when this game was on the Wii U, because there was no 200. 200cc was sort of a... what? Okay, that was a shell. That was really weird. I've never seen that happen. Sort of already want this run to be over. But yeah, it's a bit of an artifact left over from the Wii U run, since 200cc was only added much later. That being said, this game wasn't necessarily designed for 200cc, which makes a lot of the courses sort of obnoxious to play, which is why I just prefer 150. There are a few other differences from the Wii U version. It actually removed some of the advanced tech, so fire hopping and demon sliding were 2 advanced techniques that were removed. There are a couple of other ones that stayed in, but for the most part this game did become a bit more simple, which is good in the sense that it makes it easier for me, but bad in the sense that it's a bit slower. Oops, didn't want to use that. Whatever. Alright, so this game, stage rather is pretty cycle based, so I hope I don't get bodied too much by items, because I only know the cycles that involve not stopping for items. That being said, I haven't spoken about the kart composition yet. This is a pretty good stage to do it on. So I'm using specifically... So either Roy, Waluigi, and DK all have the same stats. They're both heavy characters, or they're all heavy characters rather. But they're not super heavies, which would be Wario, Dry Bowser, and Morton Koopa. So they have really good top speed and decent acceleration, but the reason we don't use a super heavy, which have even better top speed, is because the mini turbo stat, which is a hidden stat in this game actually, it's never displayed, but the mini turbo stat is better. Okay, at least I didn't lose 3 more points. The mini turbo stat is better on Roy, DK, and Waluigi. That's why we prefer using them. That was a very good example on why having coins in the first slot is good. And then the 2 carts you can choose from are the Biddy Buggy and the Scooty Jr. And although the Scooty Jr. looks amazing because it's like a toy motorcycle, it controls a bit differently, and I just prefer the Biddy Buggy here, which looks like a ladybug. Yeah, so the meta for 150 used to be a Super Heavy and the Wiggler, or a Super Heavy and the Biddy Buggy. But that changed in early 2019. It's still like super viable if you want to start with that. It's just if you want to be more optimal, this is a bit better. Technically for 200cc you should be doing the same thing, but for more beginner players, a lighter character that has better acceleration might be better, since you're pretty prone to like bumping into walls and stopping a lot and falling off the edge. That being said though, this is Toaster and Pike from the N64 game, which was actually my first video game ever. This stage has 2 different sort of like cycles, I guess you could call it, or like possibilities when it... I don't know what you would call it, but basically the row closest to me right now, it's random whether or not the traffic is going towards you or against you. It's always consistent in time trials, which is pretty interesting. but it's random in Grand Prix or all tracks, or if you do like online stuff. Unfortunately, I have the traffic coming towards me, which is a bit worse, just because it's a bit harder to sort of like judge where the cars are and all that stuff. It's not necessarily worse because you can still get all the same mini turbos that you should and all that. Very nice. Hopefully I don't get a boo. But also, like, when you round corners and, like, I don't know the cycles very much, especially since I got bodied by lightning. So it can be a bit scary. But as long as you have pretty good driving, it shouldn't be too much to worry about. Items world record or no items world record? Oh damn, okay, well. Yeah. So items is a mix of skill and luck. The people at the top of the leaderboards are all like insane runners. But also you need to play this game a lot to get lucky enough to get like tracks that you don't lose more than like 3 seconds to a no items time. Which is a bit tough. As I mentioned before, there's a reason why I run no items. So this game does have, I guess you would say different physics, but it has different physics based on what you're driving on. Sand is not super fun to drive on. I would literally rather drive on ice than sand. Was that a good shell cup? Alright, I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I'd rather drive on ice than sand, which says a lot. Okay, well. Oh, there's an Inkling in second place. We just played Splatoon. Yeah, CJ is actually a veteran of the items runs. He knows what he's talking about. What was I saying before? I was on a tangent, and it was somewhat important. Yes, sand sort of sucks, and this is actually my least favorite course in the game for that. There's also Bone Dry Dunes, which to me is the most difficult. It's not the most difficult track, but it does have a tight learning curve. That's actually Nitro Cups, so we won't see it here. I'm actually going to use this because I do need more coins for my top speed. Excellent, we would have used it anyways. Oh, never mind, that shell got blocked by Pokey, I think. Oh no, I was looking at chat. Unfortunate. Well, that's what you get for items. Oh no, wait. Did I shoot that off too early? No, I think I'm good. I sort of panicked there. Alright, so you're never ever supposed to be close to CPUs. That's how this course is currently going. I've had to take a detour every time to get more coins whenever we hit the whirlpool. Bloopers are actually really interesting though. So they actually, nice. They removed traction, which although isn't necessarily good, they also artificially make you faster, and you also don't lose as much speed when going off-road. I'm not sure if it's you don't lose as much speed or you don't lose any speed when going off-road. I would need to check that. But there's actually benefits to bloopers, which is pretty neat. It's a neat consideration if you ever get inked.
Do you have time to talk about an incentive?
Go for it. Actually, can I just say one thing? So there is a skip in this course. I'll try to go for it every time. It's pretty tough though, so don't laugh at me if I fail it. All you, Keto.
So our next incentive is for Sonic CD, run by Kamikaze, and the incentive is a bid war between the US and Japanese soundtrack. Have at it, folks.
Alright, I messed that up royally actually, so we're gonna try to do that better on the second go around. Well, good thing I wasn't first, because that shell would have gone to me. Okay, try number 2. If I ever get a mushroom, which is unlikely because you can't get them in the first place, the skip becomes like super easy. But if not, you'd need to drift at the right side and not crash into the bush. Alright, we're 0 for 2 now. If I can at least get it once, I can redeem myself. Because we do that skip and we sort of cut through the water, this course is actually pretty low on coins generally. So actually having the coin items here is not too bad. Is this your favorite map? Why is this your favorite map? It's really cool though. If you can do it well, it's like very satisfying. Oops. Okay. Alright, I took a wide turn there on the other side of the bush, but that's basically what it looks like. That was still pretty decent. Oh, there's a mushroom there. Can't get it. Okay, well, not as great as I would have hoped for, but good enough as is. Yeah, the skipping the water is actually really easy, so if you ever do like online stuff, just trying that on time trials for like 10 minutes is pretty nice, because it does save a bit of time. Oh, please. Alright, so Royal Raceway is from the N64 version again. Oops. You're supposed to drift to be able to get a bit of a better boost to get that, that ramp, but it's fine. So this is from the N64 version. Actually in that version it's one of the more broken ones, which is pretty neat, but unfortunately there are no big skips in this game that we know of as of now. They did build it pretty solid, unfortunately. Oops. Yeah, going off-road in this game is really punishing as opposed to some of the earlier titles. Some of the earlier titles, it's like actually beneficial to go off-road and to skip some parts of the track, but in this one, if you like touch it for a second... Oh no, I can get my banana out. If you touch it for like a second, it just kills all your speed, which is another reason why acceleration is really good. A good player would have foregone that entirely. There's so many red shells here, what the hell? Ah, crap. No! The blooper ran out. So again, your stats change a bit when you have a blooper, so I was trying to drift as if the blooper wasn't going to run out. I didn't time that really well. Oh no. Okay. So that'll kill my speed, but as long as it didn't kill my speed above the grass, that's fine. Bananas out for DK. Dude, people didn't donate for DK. Oh no. Oh, oh wait. Excellent. The lightning saved me there. Well, I mean saved. You lose a lot of speed when you're mini. But I think getting hit by a blue shell is actually better. Oh. Alright, didn't finish second at least. Yeah, that was actually an interesting interesting mechanic in 64. So I do run no items because I don't like the RNG variants. For a marathon, it doesn't really matter because it's just a showcase. So my time, although my time matters, it doesn't matter as much. But for actual runs, items, I wouldn't be able to do it. And there are some other games that are like very punishing for that. Double dash is actually really punishing for items, which is why if you ever see like the GSA double dash things, it's always in time trials. It's never in Grand Prix. But in 64, CPUs can't actually use shells, which means that if you get hit by a shell, it was your own shell. I mean, that game has other problems, a lot of other problems. but that is one redeeming quality, which unfortunately did not really make its way back into other titles. As you can see, I am getting harassed by shells quite a bit. But I think I'll actually keep my my sound box in case I get a blue shell. I won't waste it on a red shell. But I'm not gonna like it too much. Damn, I tried to take damage there. Okay, as long as I got hit like right before the boost, that's fine. I regained most of my speed there. Oh, double dash is great casually. No, okay, good. As a run, it's really rough. And there's actually a skip that's really RNG in that game too, but it saves a ton of time. So like you try to go for it at highest levels. It involves either you getting a bomb or a blue shell coming at you at the right part of the track. And yeah, it's rough. This game, although it's unfortunate it doesn't have skips, I always say be careful what you wish for in terms of skips. Or any glitch in speedrunning. Oops. I would have lost my item box anyways because of the thunder. I don't mind. Looper almost killed me there. Alright, we're at the halfway point. The second half of this run is actually pretty tough. Just the different tracks and the different strats you use and the different lines you take for some of them. I guess I didn't speak about that. So racing games, the variance in time is not very big. Like if someone is 5 seconds behind someone else, that's like a big difference. Okay, and I guess not 5 seconds over 16 tracks, but like 2 seconds per track, for example, is a big difference in a racing game. Which is why, like, if you see, someone, like, for 48 tracks, for example, the times vary a lot, like, minutes, and that's, like, actually really huge in this game, or in any racing game, actually. The variance in items is a bit different, because it's, again, the RNG elements, but the biggest thing about the time and how to save time is in no items again, is the lines you take. So corners you don't want to go super wide, you don't want to cut them as close as possible. You want to understand like how boosts work. So for example, I don't want to trick off boosts. Sometimes, some of them I do, some of them I don't. It's a bit confusing. But sometimes you want to trick off things, sometimes you don't want to trick off things, and just having that game knowledge, nice, is really important if you want to push your time down. Oops. There's actually a cool strat on that ramp that I messed up the first time, and the second time I got thundered. Would like to show it off on the third try. Something that I'm pretty consistent at, so it shouldn't be too hard. Excellent. Bloopers also disappear if you get one of these. No, if you get one of these boosts. Yeah, I'm not doing too hot with these blue shells right now. Alright, well, what I was trying to do is you can actually start your drift on that ramp, and charge up a super mini turbo, which is the purple one, before you get to this ramp, and then you use that mini turbo off of the ramp, and you go a lot faster, as opposed to just tricking off the ramp. But unfortunately, Thunder's got in the way. Oh, items was an incentive, so we added items because people donated for it. I guess the category should be changed on the layout, but yeah, well, it's not the biggest thing ever. I think the next one is being set up, so the respawner is a bit busy right now, but for now you get items, and the only person that's complaining about that is me, so.
The children aren't complaining, though.
That's true. We're doing it for the kids. That's what I'm telling myself, or else I would be in a significantly worse mood. Alright, so Sherbet Land, the most important thing is not falling in the water. Being in the water is slow, and I'm not about being slow. There's just a few drifts here to get to 3 coins, one of them I missed. Fine. Yeah, sticking to the right side of the track. No. Sticking to the right side of the track back there is a bit faster than going through the middle. No! Okay, I'm calm. Yes, there's a reason I don't run no items. Personally, I'm a pretty unlucky person. I did not roll well on the luck stat. I know NASA doesn't care about swearing, but I'm trying not to right now. Since we are fronting for a charity, I'd rather not. But there are certain words that are coming through my mind right now. I'm not sure if anyone kept track of how many Blue Shells or Thunders that it's been, but I think I'm well above the average right now. If you see me, sometimes I sort of hop before drift, so I'll hop to the right and then to the left. That's just so that I can get more of a... Ooh, I missed it. I can get more of a drift, if that makes sense. So more of an angle for the drift, rather. This game's drifting system is based on how much of a turn you're taking. So by hopping right a bit, I change the angle a bit, so I just get that little extra boost for the drift. To try to get through tighter corners. Yeah, I'm not getting super lucky, Raikou. Alright, Music Park is pretty tough. There are a few strats that I am a bit scared to do because of items, but they shouldn't be too bad as long as I don't get messed up too much. It's also not the track I'm worried the most about, that would be Tick Tock Clock. Music Park, I believe, is from the DS game or the 3DS game? I forget. Toad, stop that.
It's from the DS game.
The DS, there you go. They updated it for this game. A lot of the tracks from... I actually don't know if there are tracks from Mario Kart 7, but I believe they use very similar engines, so there wouldn't have been much of a difference porting them over. But I don't think there are any Mario Kart 7 tracks. I'd have to double check, though.
This is a Mario Kart 7 track.
Was it a DS track or a 7 track?
7. This is Music Park.
So it was on the 3DS?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. We're all caught up now. Yeah, they used similar mechanics between 7 and 8. TTC is pretty hard. Actually, for those of you... Oh, that's not a red shell. For those of you who are interested in Mario 64 D whatever actually lost a world record pace run yesterday to Tick Tock Clock. It was pretty unfortunate, but that is neither here nor there. Oops. There you go. That turn is actually, it's pretty tight to get the right angle so that you don't crash into the wall or fall off the side. But with enough practice, it does feel pretty good to get, and it is pretty fast. No. Nah, we're fine. I lied. See, I wouldn't have to worry about that in no items. But unfortunately, that bananas on the track is something else that the CPs leave behind. Or sometimes you, if you need to get rid of a banana for some reason. It does get pretty stressful at times, though. But that's another reason why you would want higher acceleration. Again, the super heavies that we mentioned earlier, they have better top speed but not as good acceleration. the lighter you go, the better acceleration you have, but the less top speed. So Roy is just a... Or Roy, DK, and Waluigi, rather, are just... at a good balance of top speed and acceleration, and also mini turbo. Alright, we're back to N64. So if you look at the map, it does have a very winding path. There is a set path, which is the fastest. Some people like the cannons, though. It's a pretty good beam. Tell you what, though, if we get like 100 bits of donation, I will go through the canyon on the 3rd lap. It can be separate people. I'm not picky.
Those cheerleading.
2 Retchels is actually good. I'll actually keep both of them just for defense, because I'm pretty much guaranteed to outpace Toad. Good, he didn't hit me. I don't like you. Okay, he stole my double. I was trying to go for the double item block. See, this was good timing, because I know CJ would have given the bits. But he has a meeting. I want to see if someone else actually wants it. Like 7 seconds slower, I think if someone timed it. A pretty good time. Okay, we're not getting messed up by blue shells. Or red shells. This course is actually pretty good. 20? We need 80 more. We need 80 more pretty fast. Alright, there we go. I took a risk and I did the cannon route anyways. Guido coming through clutch. So that's the cannon. It puts us at the exact same place that the bridge would have given us. That's why it's absolutely useless, but it's an addition, alright. It's an addition to the track. Yeah, on paper this track is good, because like, you're not sure which is the fastest, but once you figure out which route's the fastest, there's like no variance to it. The N64 version of this game, there actually is some variance, whether or not you take the bridge, which actually is the same one that I took, or if you go right then left, and then it's like through a tunnel. It depends which cycles you're on. It's actually pretty cool. If you've ever seen some of the higher level Mario Kart 64 runners. Alright, so this is the track that I'm worried of the most. I will try to go for all the big boy strats though. Okay. So that one's actually pretty easy. It's the one at the end of the course that's more difficult. And here, although it's technically slower to drive against the red ones, it's even slower to like go around and do a cycling thing on the actual cogs. Oops, okay. I was supposed to trick off of that, but not falling is the second best thing. But yeah, for the actual cogs, actually taking like an S of a line sort of thing is really slow. I mentioned lines earlier, and yeah, you want to cut as many turns as possible. You pretty much only want to go in straight lines unless you have a sharp turn coming up. And I don't think I mentioned this. I might have actually. But flying is slower than driving when you have too many coins. So if you have 10 coins, again, your top speed is faster. And I think that's 7 for this kart combination. At 7 coins, it's faster to drive than it is to fly rather. It's faster to be on the ground. Oops. One other thing that I haven't mentioned yet, or I mentioned like half of it, boosts don't stack. So if I boost and then I hit like a boosting panel, God, if I boost and then like hit a boosting panel, I'm just gonna get the most recent boost that I got. So sometimes you'll see me drifting and I'll release my mini turbo before hitting the boosting panel, because the mini turbo doesn't give as good of a boost as the boosting panel does. Yeah, there's supposed to be a cycle that I can get here, but I missed it by a lot because of all the items. But that's okay. I'll take the safe strat. Alright, that was overall good, other than the items. Alright, Piranha Plant Slide is like one of my favorite stages. It's really cool. I just like the whole aesthetic of it. But also the strats are pretty cool in this one too.
This is another one of the Mario Kart 7 stages, by the way.
You're right. I actually remembered this one, wow. I believe I didn't remember it earlier. I mean, it makes sense that I remember it. It was one of my favorite stages in 7 too. But yeah, there's a pretty good mix of like the underwater sections and the normal sections. There are different stats for what is it? For ground, for water, for air, and for anti-gravity. That's right. And that's just based on your cart combination. I won't go too much into that because we have a set cart combination that we can't really switch out. But yeah, the stage is pretty cool. Driving in the water here actually is a bit faster, since it does give you the momentum that the water has with it, which is why I try to make a point of driving in the water, except for this corner that needs to cut. There's a few other stages like that. I don't think there are any other stages in retro tracks that have that sort of extra momentum when you drive on something. But I know there are like some conveyor belts or things like that that will give you that extra momentum, which doesn't actually play in your top speed. Oh, nice. Okay, well, this should be fine. Yeah, so that the water and stuff doesn't actually play in your top speed, so your top speed is like independent of the extra boost that you're getting from the water boosts and all that. No, I'm almost at the end. Spare me. Oops, try not to get hit by him. Oops, alright, well. Alright. We're getting there. 2 more tracks.
Mind if I talk about the incentive?
Go for it.
So our next upcoming incentive is a bid war for Sonic CD, and the bid war is to pick between the Japanese and United States soundtracks, which are both equally awesome soundtracks.
Go, get those donations in. Save the children.
It's also coming up very soon because the incentive will close on the next game starting.
Yeah, so this track is really cool for like the lines and stuff you take, and it's also really like aesthetically pleasing. I do like the lava stuff that they're going for. There's not many strats other than the one glider trick to talk about. It's just basically pretty simple lines, and trying to get, oops, alright. Trying to get good mini turbos and cutting your corners. No! Alright. Oh, actually, this stage does, like, self-destruct. I think on lap 3. I think it's set on a cycle. There you go, it's starting to shake. I'm pretty sure it's set on a cycle, but it just happens that on lap 3 is when parts of the stage start falling off. Which doesn't... Ooh, sure. Over here? It was not worth it. It doesn't really affect our lines, because the best lines just happen to be independent of the parts of the stage that actually fall off. Oops. Oh no. Okay, good. Okay, we're going the long way around. Crap. So if you have a bomb, you can actually still block red shells, but you need to like release it about a second before the red shell gets to you, or else the bomb will blow up because the red shell hits it, and you'll blow up with the bomb. There we go. Okay, last stage coming up. Alright, so this is Rainbow Road. This was the longest track in Mario Kart 64, at over 2 kilometers per lap. In this game, they actually shortened it to just one lap of the entire course, which is done over 3 laps technically, but it's 1 lap. It just goes to show how their decision decided to change. From 64 to this game. Oops, okay, I was a bit close there. But yeah, I'm sort of busy right now, but if you guys do have a chance to look around, this game actually has a ton of detail in the background. I talked about it earlier, but there's like a lot of small things in a lot of the different stages. Ah, crap. Didn't get my in and out in time. Okay, I know where to use the mushroom at least. I'll use it. Ah, I missed the mushroom. No. This is so sad. I hate items. Alright, give me a mushroom. Alright, well, if anything, at least I can finish first. Time ends, by the way, when I cross the finish line, so we'll say finish. And just for fun, I can cross it and void out. And time.
GG, my man. Well done. Also, yes, Rainbow Road with carnage.
Rainbow Road strikes again. That was Mario Kart. That was the retro tracks. Again, there are 48 tracks, but if you guys want to pick up this game, there's like 3 short categories at 40 minutes, and then a longer category at 1 hour and 20 minutes, and then a long category at 1 hour and 40 minutes, or 2 hours-ish, I guess. And it's really easy to pick up. It's a Mario Kart game. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This was my last run of the marathon, so I will unfortunately not be back on stream, but I will catch you guys in chat, so I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for running for us, Quo. I hope to see you another time.
Yeah, it was got lots of fun.
Thank you. Hey, welcome back. We are here once again. Up next, we have Sonic. I almost said Sonic OC. Sonic CD by Kamikaze, and he'll be playing through the game. This will be the Sonic CD 2011 version, and not the original version. It's the re-release. So hopefully you'll be able to have fun with that. We also have our incentive, which is going to close very soon. It is the Japanese and US soundtrack, and the current leader is the Japanese soundtrack. If you are incentivized to bid for the US soundtrack, of course you may. Get those donations rolling. I think I'm also going to take the time to read out a little message. Since Save the Children's founding over 100 years ago, they have changed the lives of over 1 billion children. That's a billion, by the way. That's 1 with 9 zeros after it. It's a big number. Save the Children works in 120 countries, including the United States, and in 2018 has reached 134 million children through their comprehensive programming and emergency responses. You can have a big impact on this by just 1 click. 1 donation. And you can give even more if you desire. Sonic CD came around early 1990s, if I recall. Does anyone have interesting things to talk about Sonic? Oh yes, I actually have speedran a bit of Sonic CD 2011 version, and I'm aware that you can't skip Collision Chaos 3 anymore. Yes, that is very correct, Kamikaze. But I'll leave that explaining up to you because it's your run. So, hello gamers, how is your day? Are you enjoying your wonderful, wonderful summer, if not winter? In fact, I've got another interesting question to ask all those potentially Sonic fans out there in the chat. What is your vote? Hydro City or Hydrocity? Ooh, we have a Hydro City in there. I'm personally a Hydrocity person. Hydro Kitty. Ooh, that's a new one. I'm gonna call it Hydro Kitty. Two Worlds popping off with the non-binary choice. So, while we wait for the next runner, we'll have a little bit of a message from Save the Children.
18 years. That's about how long it takes for a kid to grow up. And a lot can change in that time. Since the year 2000, 30 million more people have fled their homes due to conflict, the most in history. But in that same time span, caring individuals and organizations like Save the Children have made positive change for children. 50 million more kids reached their 5th birthday, and 49 million more kids have healthy food. 94 million fewer kids were forced into harmful labor, and 115 million more kids are in school. 11 million fewer girls were forced to marry. 3 million fewer girls gave birth. and 12,000 fewer children were killed by violence. All this positive change, rippling from one childhood to the next. Imagine how many more lives we can change in our lifetime.